Hey, what is up ladies and gentlemen, my name is Griefdrums and today we are going to be covering in this video the Consulate map buff that we are receiving as part of Operation Grim Sky. So for those of you that don't know, I'll give you a little bit of background information. Some of the older maps that first got released with the game aren't really deemed as competitive and viable, so as a result the developers have sort of gone back, they've looked at a few of the maps and said we are going to either rework or buff them. Now there is a bit of a difference between these two. A rework is a full redesign of the map like we're receiving for Hereford this season, in which they have gone back, ripped it apart, figured out what was viable, what wasn't, and pretty much redesigned the map. I mean, as far as Hereford goes, it's had a complete new look given to it, as well as an entirely new layout. It's like getting a brand new map almost. A buff, however, is a little bit different. This is more like the Clubhouse map that we have recently had, in which few of the changes have been implemented to make certain bomb sites more viable and to allow rotations for defenders, for example. The upstairs of Clubhouse was almost a nightmare to defend, so what the devs did is they went in and removed a load of hatches, put in an entirely new wall, which created a new room essentially, and just tweaked it to make certain bomb sites better. This season we are getting exactly the same for Consulate. Not quite to the same extent as we did for Clubhouse. I think the buff doesn't go anywhere near as far as Clubhouse did, and it's not as exciting by any way, shape or form. However, there are still some interesting things that we're going to cover in today's video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this side-by-side comparison so we can see the changes for themselves. The first one is going to be the spawn point just outside of the piano room. This is a notorious area for spawn peeking because you were trapped behind this police vehicle and there was only one way to get out really. So they've created another entire way for you to get out of this spawn, which is this area here. You can come around to the left and there's a giant wall there which prevents them from seeing you straight away. You can get further into the map. These little sections here as well, I don't know if you can see them just on the balcony bit. This is for just above the garage. So half of those sections are now gone, so you can make a run across. Obviously, the map itself has had a bit of a rework in the sense of the cameras getting tidied up a little bit because one was clipping through the ceiling. And also the look of it. Some of the colours have changed. The majority of the changes on this map, though, are against spawn peaks. For example, this parasol that has been added to try and prevent a direct view from this window just up here at the very top of the screen. You'll notice that this wall has also moved, and it's been moved further back. I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure of the reasoning behind this one. I'm guessing it is to do with potential spawn peaks or, you know, that sort of a mentality. I don't know 100% why this change was implemented. I can't think off the top of my head why it would make any difference to have this wall further over. But it also extends a lot farther out, so potentially it's the view from those windows that you get. The biggest addition by far is the new bomb site. They've added in a bomb site in the teller's room just here, and the one directly below it in the archives. Now, I've got to be honest, this is the weirdest decision I've ever seen. I know why they've added another bomb site. It's to make it more viable and competitive, having 4 bomb sites to choose from. But this is just a really strange design choice. The tellers is hard enough to defend at the best of times, certainly on game modes like Hostage, or if you're defending the visa room just in front of it on secure area, you will know that these aren't exactly easy to defend. They're quite difficult at the best of times, let alone having to defend 2 bomb sites split across 2 floors in which there are very few rotations, or very few easy to get to rotation. On the whole though, that is about it for the changes to this map, which again, I'm a little bit surprised about, but it's not exactly a negative. This map wasn't exactly, you know, difficult at the best of times. It was a fairly competitive map. It's obviously been used in the Pro League a hell of a lot, so the pros clearly feel it's competitive, but I find it strange that this is as far as the map buff goes. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and show some of these particular spots that I discussed at the beginning when I was showing the comparison. The first one is going to be this. This is the spawn peak from Piano. Previously, you would be able to clean up anyone that came running through this area just here. However, as I mentioned, attackers now have 2 escape routes from here. You can either run into Spawn Peak Alley, or you can cut round to the left, depending on which side of the hole you spawn on. I mean, if you're on the right-hand side, you can go to the right-hand side towards the main gate. If you're on the left, you can cut to the left. You don't really need to go into that sort of zone of death, for lack of a better term. One of the other changes that's going to affect all you spawn peekers out there, the yellow stairs spawn peak that looks down onto the spawn just out there, that parasol is going to get right in the way. Now, an interesting thing to note is that the umbrella itself is not bulletproof, obviously. So you can still shoot through it. You may still get the odd pick, but you're probably just going to waste a load of bullets. I think it's very rare because you're not going to see anyone that you're actually going to light anyone up. But hey, I may be wrong. There may be some really awesome clips appear on YouTube of teams just getting absolutely destroyed as they come running past. On the whole though, the map buff is pretty cool. It's not, you know, terrible. It's not brilliant. I think that it does bring some positives. Certainly the reduction of spawn peeking. I think this is a direction they're trying to move away from now. Judging by the new Hereford rework, and certainly the adjustments on this, I think they're trying to move away from spawn peeking and make it more so defenders can still get you on your approach to the building, but once you have well and truly left the spawn. I'm really interested to see some of the variations that people are going to come up with in order to defend these bomb sites that have been added, because at the minute I'm really struggling to see how you can defend them. Obviously there is quite a lot of verticality between these rooms, so you are going to be able to do a fair amount from, you know, the other floor, but with only a hatch to rotate through, or potentially the red stairs where you're then exposing yourself to people in the cafeteria or coming from the garage side, I'm really struggling to see how this one's going to be viable, to be honest. Please though, prove me wrong. Come up with some awesome strats, send them to me over on Discord so I can check them out, and maybe they'll make it into my advanced map tips and tricks video when I potentially cover this one again. I will be doing a full map tips and tricks for Hereford. I've spent quite a bit of time learning that map now. I'm feeling pretty comfortable with where everything goes, but I think, you know, another couple of days worth, potentially more, just to make sure I'm really happy with everything and all of the cool little spots and stuff that I can find. I'm also going to be covering what was mentioned in the masterclass that we had with Alexander, Remy and some of the other devs in a future video. So if you're interested in any of that, please make sure to subscribe so you'll get a notification when those videos go up. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, please consider hitting that thumbs up. But until next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay reckless and relentless.